think that went well. I'm out of breath now, so that's good. You know, sometimes you just have to make a bold choice. But I'm happy to be here with you guys again today. It's another great day. The sun is starting to shine. The tank is clean. Every time I hear someone say the sun is shining, it's a great day or whatever, that's all I can think about is Finding Nemo. The tank is clean. Anyway, I'm sure, unless you've been living under a rock and you're on Twitter, that you've seen the
LeBron James
memes. Right now, it's just like all over. That and the Do Your Thing 21, Do Your Thing by Drake. Those two memes are like everywhere right now. But the LeBron one it hits home to me because whenever I was younger, I used to do it into like my teenage years, but I don't really do it anymore because I'm confident in admitting whenever like I don't know something or if I haven't seen something. Like I'm a big sports fan, but sometimes I don't watch the game, or sometimes I just go to bed early and I didn't see the end, or I didn't see the big play, or whatever. But the LeBron thing where it's like, yeah, I've been listening to the Migos. First of all, he called them the Migos, and he's like since 2010, and they didn't release any music since before 2011. And there are other ones, like anytime he's asked about The Godfather or something, he's just, when he said like how far you're into the book or whatever, he was like, he's just a genius. That's all I can say or whatever. And I'm like, you laugh because clearly it shows that he hasn't read the book or that he's just doing it for show or whatever. I've heard some people say that he just loves like starting conversations and giving people something to talk about, that he just says that stuff and then just like turns his phone off, just doesn't go on social media for like 2 weeks until it all blows over. Smart move by him to keep his name in the press, whatever. But I used to do this a lot. Not a lot, but whenever I was younger, like mainly around sports and my dad, because he wakes up really early to go to work, and so he doesn't always get to stay up to watch games, or he hunts also, so he would wake up really early to hunt on the weekends, and like if he would be waking up early, he would go to bed early and wouldn't catch the game or whatever. And I remember specifically this one time, I couldn't tell you what grade I was in, maybe late elementary school, early middle school, I don't know, but I was really into basketball, and I would try and watch as much NBA basketball as I could. And I was into the Celtics, I guess, because back then every kid wanted to be a Celtics fan with Paul Pierce and Rajon Rondo and Ray Allen and Kevin Garnett. And I got home from school one day and he was like, did you see the rest of that big Celtics win last night? Like, that was crazy. And me, being me, wanting to like be a part of the conversation and not make it look like I didn't know. I hadn't seen the score. I didn't know what happened. I used to watch SportsCenter every morning before going to school, and SportsCenter Top 10 Plays used to come on at 6:51 a.m. they used to start. And I remember the bus would be like 7 o'clock, 7:01, 7:02, whatever. And so I would always be like, I cannot miss Top 10 Plays. I need them to come before I leave for the bus. And so I'd always watch them. But that morning, I guess I hadn't watched SportsCenter. I didn't know. This was way before I had a phone that I could just check the score. And I was like, yeah, that was crazy. Glad the Celtics won. Like, that was a big game. And he just started laughing. And then like a couple minutes later, he was like, the Celtics lost. Like, you didn't watch the game. And so it made me feel really stupid. So from that point on, I started realizing that if someone asked me a question that I didn't know the answer to, I would have to really think twice about lying or just guessing at what I thought they wanted to hear. But now I'm pretty good. I just say like, no, I didn't see that, or like, oh, can you just send me the link or whatever. Now I'm pretty in tune with social media, so I'm normally aware of what's going on, but sometimes I miss. And it's okay to admit when you haven't seen something. It's okay to not be a part of the social in-group all the time. You're allowed to not be a part of pop culture every single second of your life. But if you want to stay under the radar, that's okay, because you might be the person that I contact to pull off this feat whenever I get around to it. Air Marshals. I don't know why this came to me, but whenever I was in the airport, I was in DC. I flew out of Reagan, DCA, and I just texted my friends. I was like, is it true that there's an Air Marshal on every single domestic flight, or is it just international, or what's the situation? But that one movie with Liam Neeson, I don't remember what it's called. I think it's a plane. It might be a train. I think it's a plane because he's an Air Marshal. Anyway, if there is an Air Marshal on every single flight, number one, that's a lot. There are a lot of Air Marshals that exist in the United States. Second, I want it to be my life's mission to find out who it is on every flight that I'm on. So not just one time, but somehow figure out a way to figure out who it is by the time the flight's over, and just go up to them or whatever and just give them a look like I know who you are. Like, if something goes down, look at me, I'll help you out. But is that, like, do you get pegged immediately as, like, you gotta watch out for that one? I just, if there is an Air Marshal, someone fact check me, I don't know, someone send me the rules of flying as an Air Marshal or whatever it is, the regulations. If there is an Air Marshal on every single flight, I want to find them. I want to be able to point them out. Like, sometimes you hear them, they take full luggage that's just empty. They take like a whole carry-on and check bag and everything, and it's just empty just to keep up the appearance. Some people wear like full business suits and like have Bluetooth in their ear to pretend like they're like traveling for work. Some people just wear like normal clothes. I'm sure there are women Air Marshals, so like that opens up, like, you have to scope out every single person on the plane. There are probably Air Marshals from tons of different ethnicities, races, and nationalities, so it's really like you have to look at every single person to figure it out. We're out of red. You know what that means. I actually looked up how to say this one because I didn't want to make my French viewers mad. So I looked it up, and this is exactly how he said it. So don't get mad at me. Get mad at the YouTube guy that pronounced it. It's pamplemousse. I say pamplemousse. That's what I assume. I'm pretty sure it's a type of grapefruit. I don't think it is synonymous with the grapefruit. I don't think that, like, this is just the French word for grapefruit. I think they're two different things, but I could be wrong. This is a pretty good flavor. I did not used to like grapefruit flavored things. Now I do. Pretty good. The best part about these is they're subtle, but the flavor lasts the whole time. Like, every time I take a sip, it's still the same flavor. With some other sparkling waters and seltzers, the flavor, like, you get tired of the flavor by the time you're done with it, and so you just like drink the last third in one sip just because you want it to be over. That's not the case with these. I genuinely like this brand, LaCroix. Again, that would have been a perfect time for the segment, but you're too lazy to reach out to me. Really easy. Just send me like a free case every week. There are 8 in a pack, so just send me one free case every 2 weeks, and then there you go. It'll be the same flavor every day, so maybe send me like 4 cases a month, and then it'll be a different flavor. You figure it out. You make a lot of money. I'm sure you can figure out how to sponsor a guy that has 10 YouTube subscribers. 10, by the way. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. I was watching a video the other day, and this guy was talking about something that I haven't really thought about a lot in my life, but now it's really making me think. And I know it's going to sound wild, but hear me out. And I'm sure that by the time I'm done with this, you may think the same thing. And if there are more than one of us out there, well, I know there's at least one more because he talked about it, but he has never seen The Truman Show. So it really made me wonder, because I've seen The Truman Show. And so I was like, oh, you're just describing The Truman Show. But he says Like, someone asked him, like, have you ever seen The Truman Show? And he was like, no. But he thinks that he is at the center of everyone's world. Like, it's not a production like The Truman Show, but he thinks that, like, when he goes home, the whole world is just, like, waiting to be, like, queued up to interact with him. Like, he said to the one guy, he's like, when I see a tweet come from your account on Twitter, on my timeline, he's like, I don't think that you tweeted that. Like, I think it just appeared for my entertainment and my interaction. He was like, whenever I come to work and I don't go by your desk and see you physically, he's like, I just don't think that you're doing anything, that you're just there waiting for me to come near you or to be in your line of sight, or for you to be in my line of sight, and then your interaction with me for that day starts. So they're not like robots, but he said that their like sentience relies on him being present. And it's a really crazy thing to think about, that like everything that's around me, everyone that's driving around me, everyone that is in the building that I'm about to walk into is like that person walking their dog on the side of the road right now. Like, they were there specifically for me to notice them. That the person that's driving beside me is driving beside me to potentially keep me from like getting in that lane, or just there to aid in my life that is happening so that I continue to live the way that I'm living. That nothing, like no other person is altering my life path. It's crazy. I know it sounds wild, but think about it. Think about the next time you're about to walk into a room. Think about like, what are the people in there doing right before you see them and before you walk into the room? Are they there just silent, waiting for you to come in and start interacting with them? Or is it all just something weird that we think, us narcissists think that the whole world is just there for us? And is everyone living in their own form of reality? Is this true and everyone just lives their own form of it, and everyone's here for their own life path? I don't know. See, now we're getting a little weird. So I don't want to get too weird. So I'll talk about something a lot lighter and something that maybe gets me a little angry. But as you guys know, I said that I was really bad. Oh, there's the women's soccer coach walking out of McDonald's. Yeah, I was, when I worked, what was that, Monday? I worked on Monday at the basketball game, and whenever I was leaving, he was walking out of the arena, and he was headed to their, like the NCAA selection show for soccer. And as he was opening the door, I was walking right behind him, and I said to him, like, big event you're going to, like, I wish you the best. And he just didn't even turn around and look at me. Like, it was just us walking through the door. And he didn't even, like, no, like, thanks, no, like, yeah, I know, right? Like, it's going to be good. Like, see you at the game on Friday. Like, he just didn't respond. So, I don't know how I feel about that. Not that I'll probably ever interact with him again, but if I do, I'll remind him and be like, hey, I wished you luck right before your selection show, and you just ignored me and didn't say anything. Maybe he'll be apologetic. Maybe he won't. Maybe he'll be like, oh, I didn't know you were talking to me. Doubtful, because we were the only two people walking out the door. So whatever. That's how easy it is to like get me upset, which leads into, I told you guys that I had to go get my oil changed, and I made an appointment online because that's, if you're someone that just shows up to a place and expects to get service or to have things go the way you want, I question your common sense, because that's the world we live in now is so planned, and so everything is time sensitive, that I could never just drive up to a dealership and be like, yeah, I'm here for this service that typically takes like an hour and a half. Can you just fit me in? or I don't know, fast food restaurants are the only places that you can just roll up and expect to get service. Like, even I still check like restaurants right here around campus. I'll Google them to see when their like busy times are, so I know if I should go. Like, I know that the Starbucks in the bookstore after my first class gets out at 11 is gonna be packed. So I wait until 11:45 to go, because everyone is heading there right after their first class. So it's not as packed around 12 because everyone's in class. So like, that's the type of, I plan everything out. So whatever. I made an appointment online to get my oil changed. I selected just an oil change and like inspection of the, I guess, the important areas of my car. I've only had it for like 5 months. I've only put 4,000 miles on it, and 2,000 of that is driving down here. And I get there, I pull in, and the guy's like, all right, what are we doing today? And I was like, oh, I had an appointment. I booked it for 9:30. It was like 9:20 because, again, I get there early just in case anything happens. And he was like, okay, so I don't have my computer on me right now. Like, do you want to get an oil change and blah, blah, blah? And I was like, yeah, I made an appointment for an oil change, like a basic oil change. And he was like, okay, so we'll do oil change and tire rotation. And in my mind, I thought that that's what he was saying. Like, okay, you booked this and that's what we're going to do. No, he added the tire rotation in there without me like knowing that it was an upcharge. And I had a coupon for, on their website, $5 off an oil change. And I'm all about saving money wherever I can. And it doesn't say like one-time use only. It doesn't have exclusions. It's literally like you can use it every time you get your oil changed. And so I was like, yeah, I have a coupon for this oil change. And he was like, okay, we'll get that at the end. And then I go in to the waiting room and I start doing work on my computer. Had some papers to type up. And so I start doing work on my computer, and like 20 minutes later, he comes back in with a stack of papers. And he was like, so as we were like starting to inspect your car and everything, we noticed like your transmission fluid needs changed, and you have like a big puddle of water in your like brake system or whatever. And he's like, yeah, I looked up records from Pennsylvania, and like I couldn't see any records of it ever being changed. So we're gonna go ahead and change that. We just need you to like signature. And I was like, can you give me a second? I'm gonna call my dad to make sure that like this is like what I need. He was like, well, like they're doing it, like they're already working on your car right now, so you might as well, like, if you just sign off, we can like get it done, that way you know it's done. And I was like, give me a second. And so I called my dad, and then they send you a text with a link to go and like sign manually online. And I clicked the link and I started going through the stuff with my dad. My dad was like, no, that all that stuff was just done whenever you bought your car. And I bought it from Fitzgerald in Chambersburg. Shout out Fitzgerald in Chambersburg. Jeremy, you're my guy. And so that he wasn't seeing that all of that service had just been done on it at that dealership, since it was it's a Honda, not a Toyota. So like it didn't come directly from that dealership. And so it was like $700 of extra work that he wanted to do on the car. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm not doing any of this. This is stupid. This guy's trying to rip me off. And he comes back in like 5 minutes later after I selected no on the website that they sent me the link to. And he was like, are you sure you don't want any of this done? Like something could go wrong with your car. And he's like, we want to make sure that we give you the best service today, that you're leaving your car in the best care. And I was like, yeah, I'm good, thank you. And then I go to pay at the end, and I was like, hey, I had this coupon, it wasn't applied. And she was like, okay, you're gonna have to call Manny, was his name. She's like, you're gonna have to go over to his desk and tell him that. And he was like, oh, well, you should have presented me with the coupon whenever we started. And I was like, dude, I told you I had it. It's not a physical coupon. No one does physical coupons anymore. And so then he was like, okay, I'll take it off. And then I was like, oh, I also have like a warranty that I bought whenever I got my car. It's through Honda. It's like a 3-year like gold. And he's like, there are literally thousands of them. Like you need to like be more specific. And I was like, first of all, I'm coming to your place of business, giving you money, $106, by the way, to get my oil changed and my tires rotated. And you're not going to do me the decency of being a good salesman and look my warranty up. It's under my name. I can give you all my information. You have my car's VIN number. You have every piece of information that you need. You have a computer with a Honda database right 2 inches in front of your face. And I was like, okay, I'll just look it up on my own then. And he was like, yeah, most times it's a rebate they just send you in the mail anyway. They'll just send you a check for whatever they cover. And I was like, I don't care how I get my discount. I just want to know that if something in this service applies to the discount that I bought, that I pay $60 a month for, I want to make sure that I'm using it and not wasting that money, or else I'll just get rid of the warranty and save $60 a month. Needless to say, I hate car dealerships, especially ones I'm not familiar with. I miss being back in Chambersburg and being able to go to Fitzgerald because they didn't try to give me any runarounds. I told them exactly what I wanted. I got exactly what I wanted, no extras. If something was wrong with my car, I walked right over to the salesman that I bought it from and said, hey, can you look this car up, make sure this is actually needed? And he would never BS me. He would tell me exactly what I needed and what service needed done. Calming myself down because it just got me really heated because I spent money that I didn't need to spend, and I'm probably not going to go back to that dealership. I'm going to ask around all my friends, anyone that has a car that goes to school here. I'm going to ask where they get their service done, go somewhere new, and tell them they try and upcharge me for anything that I don't need. I don't know what I'll do. Probably nothing, but needless to say, moral of the story, don't look like you don't know anything about cars whenever you walk in to get a simple oil change done, because they'll try and charge you an extra $700 for stuff that you don't actually need. Or just be really good at negotiation tactics and get them to give you the discount that they give you on their website. And make sure you know your warranty information before you go to a dealership for the first time. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm up to 10 subscribers. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it. I used to end these videos as soon as I parked, and now I just sit here and ramble for 10 more minutes after I park. I'm getting really good at mindlessly driving, which is not good. The only good thing about it is I drive this same route every single day, so I know where I'm going by now. But if I was driving to a new place, you saw it whenever I went to the basketball game on Monday. My conversation was just boring because I was trying to find a new place to park and a new place to drive. But thanks for supporting. Let's try and grow this subscriber count maybe to 20. Tell your friends, tell your family, even if you have your mom or dad, your young daughter, your young son, an old grandpa, an old grandfather, an old grandmother, an old grandma. Someone, make a YouTube account for them, subscribe. They never have to watch. Just helps me out. You know how these end. Thanks, guys. I do a lot of whispering at the end. I think it's just calming to end the video. Love you guys. Have a good day.